This could have been an email. It's something I hear regularly at meetings, usually right after I've taken my chair. And I quietly agree with the sentiment relatively often, particularly when the sun is shining, taunting me to get outside and flee the torturous and sedentary nature of that sinister villain, the mandatory meeting. I want to see that villain in the form of a Halloween costume next year. A student of mine who was graduating in May came to me a few weeks back to ask me for a favor. Would I be willing to be his faculty advisor on his honors thesis? What? I still feel new around here. Plus, I primarily teach sophomores, not seniors. And finally, we have to get in line to teach honors students. I don't know how far away my turn is, but I'm pretty sure there aren't many behind me in that queue. But hey, he asked me, so you're damn right I'm doing it. As a bonus, his topic is a specific area of scarcity marketing. What is that? Generically, it's a tactic that leverages limited availability, whether through low stock, limited time offers, or exclusive access to drive faster decision-making and increase conversions. And one more important thing about it, it drives up the price, sometimes incredibly so. My students' research is focused on a specific market. But when we were meeting earlier this week, I couldn't help thinking about how it relates to human interaction. So many modern technologies that are now commonly used are designed to limit or even eliminate the inconvenience of gathering in person to discuss things. Those meetings that could have been an email are often the target. Good. Fewer meetings sounds lovely, right? A mentor of mine used to say, a canceled meeting is a gift from heaven. But there are consequences. The time we once spent relating and connecting with each other is shrinking too, which doesn't sound lovely at all. To me, that's ugly, possibly dangerous. A concern for the communication professor like me is that our human skills will continue to deteriorate as a result. Study after study have already begun documenting how mobile devices and doom scrolling have badly damaged our attention spans. But a recent study caught my eye while I was thinking about the advantage direct, in-person human interaction has over meeting on a remote or even recorded platform. Quote, watching live performances enhances subjective and physiological emotional responses compared to viewing the same performance on screen, end quote, is being published in the December 2025 issue of IBRO Neuroscience Reports. I know that sounds like academia speak run amok, but what I've read so far is surprisingly accessible and timely. It can be viewed now at sciencedirect.com. An example of the findings made by Damian Gabriel and others are in the abstract. Quote, the findings highlight the unique impact of performer-audience interaction and suggest that digital media cannot fully replicate the emotional richness of live experiences, end quote. I've often wondered what makes a Netflix comedy special less funny than seeing it in person. What makes a phone conversation land differently than a face-to-face discussion? Why will a speech drive emotions more than a written report? Among the many social, environmental, and behavioral explanations, this new research is finding that there are, wait for it, physiological reasons. It will be difficult, if not impossible, for technology to replace these physical differences in communication impact. So then, while we are spending less time with each other in person, largely out of convenience, the impact of that time will likely not be diminished. Add the element of scarcity to it, and the actual value of our face-to-face live interactions will become even more vital. This combination will make excelling in these fewer live environments far, far more valuable. Doing it less doesn't make these skills less important. Doing it less means the advantage those who are good at it have will only grow. Last week, my department had a meeting. Some of it was truly meh. But it was cake day. People brought in cheesecake, cupcakes, brownies, oh, the brownies, and a few things that I don't have any idea what they are called, but they represent a good reason to go on living. We did some work in this meeting that could have been an email, but more importantly, we had a sugar-induced party that included take-home, carry-out boxes of treats made by our friends that have lasted for a week at my house. I got to sit next to a pal of mine I haven't talked to in months, and I have to admit that even when the boss was doling out bad news, the two of us sat there smiling about it. It was a rare event. I hope we do it every year, and the only way to do it is in person, together.